The IKEA Business Network is now open for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Join for free today to get access to interior design services to help you make the most of your workspace, employee well-being benefits to help you and your people grow, and amazing discounts on travel, insurance, and IKEA purchases, deliveries, and more. Take your small business to the next level when you sign up for the IKEA Business Network for free today by searching IKEA Business Network.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2797, Shortest Path to Financial Independence by the Mad Fientist of madfientist.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is actually one of multiple shows in our network, covering different topics like personal development, health, relationships, and your work life. So if you like narration-style podcasts, be sure to search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you're hearing this and check out our other shows. But for now, let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. Shortest Path to Financial Independence by the Mad Fientist of madfientist.com. What would you give up if someone said to you, if you give up 5 things, you can quit your job tomorrow and won't ever have to work again? What else would you give up if you instead had to give up 10 things, 15 things? At some point, it may not be worth it and you'd rather keep your job, but I imagine the list of things you'd be happy to give up could be pretty long. I actually thought about this a lot recently when creating a budget for the perfect life. After determining what kind of life would make me and my wife happiest, I sat down to figure out exactly how much the perfect life would cost. Definition of financial independence. Before I describe the shortest path to financial independence, it's probably a good idea to reiterate my definition of financial independence. To me, financial independence is having enough income from your assets to cover your essential expenses so that you can survive without ever having to work again. Never having to work again is very different from never working again. Since I plan on working in some capacity after I achieve F.I.R.E. on things I want to work on rather than what my boss wants me to work on, I'm not concerned with saving up enough money to cover my discretionary expenses. I'd rather reach F.I.R.E. as quickly as possible, quit my full-time job, and then slowly build up the amount of fun money I have by doing work that I enjoy. As Mr. Money Mustache describes in his First Retire, Then Get Rich article, it's likely you'll make more money and spend less post-F.I.R.E. than you anticipate. Therefore, I'm happy with this plan, and I'm in no way worried about living a boring life after financial independence. So how can you achieve financial independence as quickly as possible? List current essential expenses. The first thing you should do is list your current essential expenses. This will allow you to understand how much you spend per month and will help you better predict how much you'll need to spend after you quit your job. Predict future essential expenses. The number you computed in the previous step assumes your post-F.I.R.E. life will resemble your current life. Most likely, this will not be the case. When you no longer have to work, the number of expenses that you incur should decrease. This step is the fun part. If you really envision your post-F.I.R.E. life, you can quite happily drop expenses that are no longer necessary or important to you. Housing. We currently own a house, but plan on renting after reaching F.I.R.E. There are a few reasons for this. Number 1, no irregular expenses. If a pipe bursts or the roof leaks, I don't want to have to pay for it, and I don't want to budget for it. I just want to pay X amount per month and not worry about any additional expenses. Number 2, just enough house. Right now, we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, but only my wife and I live there. We bought a 2-bedroom house so that we could have guests and potentially have space for a nursery if we decided to have a baby. For the most part, however, this second room has been unused. Renting will allow us to get exactly the right-sized house for our current needs. We'll be able to spend less on a studio or a 1-bedroom place and then move somewhere bigger if we do eventually need another bedroom. Number 3, less stuff. Rather than maintain a house full of belongings, we're going to sell mostly everything we own and then rent furnished houses or apartments instead. The less stuff we have, the less we'll feel attached to a particular place, the more money we'll have in the bank, and the more flexible we'll be. And number 4, geographic arbitrage. I also plan on using geographic arbitrage to bring my F.I.R.E date even closer. By living somewhere like Thailand for a portion of the year, the income from my U.S. investments and businesses will go much further than if I lived in the States. Renting will allow us to easily move to cheaper places as needed or desired. The decision to rent smaller apartments or houses in cheaper places will allow me to decrease my future monthly expenses significantly. Transportation. Sadly, we currently require 2 cars for me and my wife to both get to work. The cost associated with these cars is ridiculous, and if I never have to own a car again, I won't. Post-F.I.R.E, we won't need to own a car. Not having a car will probably result in additional public transportation costs, but by cutting out automobile ownership from our future expenses, I can decrease our future monthly expenses even further. Other expenses. I'm sure there are many expenses in your life that you'd be happy to substitute for free alternatives post-F.I.R.E if you take some time to think about it. There's a big, exciting world out there with many amazing free things to do, so why not start with those and then move on to things that cost money after you get bored of all the free options? Library books instead of TV, running instead of gym membership, rock climbing on actual rocks instead of on a fake climbing wall that costs money to use. You get the idea. Why wait until F.I.R.E? This exercise may help you decrease your current expenses even before you achieve financial independence. If you ask yourself, would I give up X if it meant I could quit my job tomorrow, and you answer yes, why would you continue paying that expense now? It's obviously not that important to you. So why not remove that expense now and instead use that money to get one step closer to achieving F.I.R.E? Supplemental income for discretionary spending. The beauty of saving enough to only cover your essential expenses is that it will force you to really scrutinize your discretionary spending after you achieve F.I.R.E. If you have to go out and make extra money to buy something, you'll most likely only buy things you really need or desire. You will truly be trading your free time for stuff, so you'll most likely only do that for things that are really important to you. Again, why wait? There's no need to wait until F.I.R.E to see if you can limit your discretionary spending to what your supplemental income can provide. If you start developing supplemental income streams by doing things you enjoy now, you'll be able to increase your savings rate while cutting out the discretionary expenses that really aren't meaningful to you. You just listened to the post titled Shortest Path to Financial Independence by the Mad Fientist of madfientist.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. For a lot of people, myself included, different finance apps can be stressful and make it difficult to manage finances. But then I tried Monarch Money and everything got so much easier. Maybe you're saving for a down payment, a wedding, a dream vacation, your kids' college. I found that Monarch makes it so easy to help you reach your financial goals, whatever they are. I definitely wouldn't be able to allocate my finances or plan as clearly without help from Monarch. In fact, Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. It gives you a comprehensive view of all of your accounts, investments, transactions, and more. Create custom budgets, track progress towards financial goals, and collaborate with your partner. And now get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app. And right now, listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. That's monarchmoney.com/OFD for your extended 30-day free trial. I like this article because it highlights that the benefits of pursuing financial independence are not reserved for the finish line. Any level of financial security simply creates more options. I agree with the Mad Fientist here that you can likely leave full-time W-2 work before reaching traditional financial independence, typically defined as having a nest egg worth 25 times your expenses. This aligns more closely to what I would call my preferred flavor of F.I.R.E, coast F.I.R.E or slow F.I.R.E. At first glance, not working at all might sound like an ideal, but from what I can see, most people just want to work less, have full autonomy over their work, and do work they enjoy. If you're willing to work even a tiny bit, that can drastically change your timeline when it comes to stepping away from full-time work. For me, that translates to 4 hours per week on this podcast and sporadic sprints on my hobby business called the Economy Conference, which is the largest annual gathering of F.I.R.E enthusiasts in the world. You're going to need to find something to fill your time anyway. So if it can also bring in a little bit of income and drastically change your timeline, why not? But that should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Wednesday show, where your optimal life awaits.